fearing sin is considered, the first Amir is saying that the fearing sin is obviously a higher level than knowing a lot of Torah. That in terms of scale of values, in terms of hierarchy of values, who is considered on a high spiritual level? That the one who knows a lot of Torah, it's very nice, but it's not the highest spiritual level. The one who fears sin, that's I just also wanted to point that out. That's
a very Chassidic statement.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean to say. No, but over there it says Chachmosim is Kayemes. I understand. You could say it doesn't say
but it
that.
Has to, but it's showing the hierarchy of Yerushalayim.
Yeah, but I understand what you say, but it's not so sharp because it says Yeruschatek Kedamus Chachmosim is Kayemes. So it's like a Tanai that you need to have Yeruschet in order for the Chachma to be Miskayem.
And they were talking about Sodom as both.
Yeah. Over here it says, like it says Beferish, that he said this is much greater. I appreciate what you're saying. What you're saying is also appropriate. Over here it's brought out very clearly. So, and now I wanted to say concerning things like that there are a number of that were put forth among the Chassidic Ashkenaz, the medieval German pietists, Reb Yoinoson and his cohorts, who also had a mystical school. And there were also a number of things there that are of interest. And going along with this, there's a famous statement from Reb Yoinoson where it says that if a man has two sons and he doesn't have enough money to send both of them away to yeshiva, poor. He doesn't have enough money to send both of them away to yeshiva. He needs to keep one son at home to help with the business and so on, or he just doesn't have enough money to send both of them away to yeshiva. So he says, Reb Yoinoson said, let's say one son is big about kish and more intelligent, so it's mashma that he can be more matzliach in yeshiva. And the other son is not such a big about kish, maybe won't be so much matzliach in yeshiva, but he has more Yerushalayim. He's more Yerushalayim, more fear of heaven. Son A is more intelligent, but son B has more fear of heaven. So he says flat out, you should send the one to yeshiva who has more fear of heaven. Let the intelligent one stay at home and help with the business. So,
what's the rationale for that?
What?
What's the rationale for that?
The rationale for that is...
I mean, you learn Yerushalayim, you could only learn more Torah, you go to yeshiva.
Yeah, but
Yerushalayim, you could learn day-to-day
You could
life.
say that, but I assume that the point is that the business of Limud Torah, the business of learning Torah, is herein viewed as not being mainly about. Well, we could say two things.
It's a
One
service,
thing
not a
yes,
knowing.
Exactly, very well said. It's a service. It's not just about intellectual attainment or mainly about intellectual attainment. It's a service. Very well said. It's a service. This one is ready to serve. Yes.
You need the smart one to run the business.
That's also a Chassidic.
You have too much Yerushalayim, you can be too honest.
Continue with Chassidic Ashkenaz. Of course, one of the big themes, one of the central themes of Chassidus is something that's stressed over and over, is the omnipresence of God, the immanence of God. Leisas harpanim minei, there is no place devoid of Him. God is present in everything. God is with us always. God is everywhere. God is everything. God is in everything. God is all in all, and so on. So, as a matter of fact, this doctrine was propounded explicitly by a number of the Chassidic Ashkenaz. For instance, you have the pasuk. It says in the pasuk in Parshas Balak, right? So that God is one, and no one can turn Him back. No one can contest His will. So it's brought from the Chassidic Ashkenaz that they said, what's pshat? It says v'hu be'echad v'yeshivenu. It should say v'hu echad v'yeshivenu. Why does it say be'echad? He is one. He's the whole game. He is one, and no one can turn it back. No one can contest His will. Why does it say hu be'echad? As if He is in. Be, that prefix means in. As if He is in something. So the Chassidic Ashkenaz darshan it that it means v'hu be'echad v'yeshivenu, that it's be'echad. Be'echad means that God is in the oneness and the innermost identity of a person. Ki hu nishmasa l'nishmasa. God is the soul of a person. that God is in every person on the deepest level. In that point, which is the uniqueness of a person, in that point, which is the oneness, the identity of a person, on the deepest level, God Himself is there. God is in every person at the deepest level. Now, I don't know. I'm not saying, and I don't know to what extent these examples that I got here from Chassidus Ashkenaz, I need to thank Dr. Sholem for these examples. And he says himself that it's very striking how these themes that are sounded here among Chassidus Ashkenaz, the medieval German pietists, that they seem to foreshadow themes from the much later Bestian Eastern European Chassidus, but he says that he doesn't know about chains of influence. It's interesting to speculate. I don't know if the great Chassidic masters were steeped in the writings of Chassidus Ashkenaz. I don't know, but the point, however, is that some of these doctrines and some of these ways of thinking, which could be considered innovative, Chassidic, and so on, they appear long before in very respectable traditional Jewish sources, medieval Jewish sources, long before the advent of the Baal Shem Tov and so on. And just one other item along with that. One of the themes that's often discussed concerning Chassidus, again with this matter of looking at sin in a somewhat different way, looking at sin in a somewhat redemptive way, taken to its extreme, there is the matter of divine determinism, where, as in the Ishbit school, where sometimes we can go so far as to say that after a person sins and violates the will of God, and then he does tshuva and he repents, we can see the redemptive aspect going so far as to say that it was all part of the divine plan. It was all part of the divine plan, and God made the whole thing happen. God made the whole thing happen. God made him sin. God brought him to do tshuva. It was all